Now, the near future in English is the equivalent of saying, I am going to go, or I am going to see. Next weekend, I am going to go to the cinema. Tomorrow, I am going to see my friend. Next week, I'm going to go to the Bahamas. We're using I am going followed by an infinitive: to go, to see, to play, to sing, to sleep, etc. We've seen what an infinitive is in French before, so this, hopefully, will ring a few bells. To form the near future, you need two parts, and you need both parts together to form the near future, to talk in the future tense. The first part is aller in the present tense. I know that sounds a bit weird, the present tense with the future tense, but believe me, it makes sense. In English, we say I am going to go. That I am going part is present tense. We add the infinitive onto the end to make it future. So firstly, we need aller, which means to go. Now we break this down. This is our infinitive. It ends in an ER, okay? We need to break that down in order to make it work. Aller is your infinitive, that overall tree trunk that we've talked about before. In order to make it work, I am going, you are going, he or she or we are going, we need to break it down. We need to conjugate it like we've talked about before. We can't just use aller. So we use this. Je vais means I am going. Tu vas, so we've just taken away that I. Va, V-A-S, means you are going. And lastly, il, elle, on va means he for il, elle, she, on, we are going. He, she, we are going. Still discussing aller, we've got nous, vous, il and elle parts now. So nous allons means we are going. Nous allons, we are going. Vous allez, you are going, if you're talking to somebody formally or a group of people. And ils or elles vont, they are going. Il for a group of boys or mixed group of girls and boys, and elles for a group of girls only. They are going. So we've got part one. Part one is aller in the present tense. So you choose whoever you're talking about. If you're talking about yourself, you'd use je vais. If you're talking about he, you'd say il va. If you're talking about we, you'd say nous allons. Then you need to add it to part two. Now part two is any infinitive you need to use or you want to use. So for example, jouer. We use jouer a lot because it's nice and simple and everyone knows what it means. Jouer means to play. We know it's an infinitive because it ends in er, ir or re. That's how we know when words are infinitive. An infinitive is just a fancy word for a verb. Jouer means to play. Now this is what we need because we need the je vais, I am going, part one, to play. Part two, je vais jouer, I am going to play. It's not I play like in present tense, it's I am going to play. Tomorrow I am going to play. We could replace this, jouer, with any verb we wanted or any verb that we know. So for example, we're going to use the verb porter. The colour red doesn't mean anything, I'm just using any colour at the moment. Porter, it's an infinitive. Er, it ends in er, it's an infinitive. Porter means to wear. I am going to wear. We could use any other verb. We could use écouter. I am going to listen. It's an er at the end, it's an infinitive. Je vais, I am going, écouter, to listen. Now if we wanted to change this up a bit, and it's not all about I, it could be il va. Now il va, we know from part one, means he is going. And then again, we could put jouer. Tomorrow he is going to play. He is going to play. We could replace this infinitive with any. Finir, to finish. He is going to finish. Tomorrow he is going to finish his homework. Il va porter. Porter, we've just learned, means to wear. He is going to wear. So we can use this to say what we're going to do in the future, or what we're going to wear, or what we're going to play, or what we're going to see, etc, etc, etc in the future. Now we've got loads of infinitives that we know already. See if you can think of a few to put down on your sheet. I'll start you off with a list. Jouer means to play. We know it's an infinitive that has er on the end. Finir means to finish. IR on the end. We've seen other IR verbs recently. Choisir means to choose. We've also got an RE verb that we've seen recently. Vendre means to sell. Porter means to wear. I want everyone to write that one down. Porter means to wear. That's going to come up a lot in our future lessons. See if you can think of a few more off the top of your head. But be careful, don't write it down if it doesn't end in ER, IR or RE, because it's not an infinitive if it doesn't. By now you should have your entire sheet filled out. So if you haven't, maybe rewind the video, see if you can spot some things that you may have missed. And you can always re-watch this video closer to the end of the holidays so that you can make sure it's fresh in your mind. Don't forget to bring your homework sheet with you on our first lesson back. It's due on the 17th of April. That's our first day back at school, so make sure that you bring it with you because we're going to be using this a lot during our first lesson, especially the stuff on the near future tense.